First Point, Malibu, the original perfect wave, where surf culture blossomed. For the first time ever, the iconic Cobblestone Point hosts the new Longboard Championships. Seated in a final style bracket, 16 of the world's best longboarders look to demonstrate the style, flow, and grace of traditional surfing. The last surfer standing will be crowned 2023 World Champion. The original Sprout Malibu Longboard Championships presented by Tractor Beverage Co. starts now.
Hey, welcome to the SAMBAZON Dawn Patrol here at the Original Sprout Malibu Longboard Championships, presented by Tractor Beverage Company. 2015 World Champ, Rachel Tilley. We're going to see her in the first match for the women's. She got to the beach nice and early, already had a warm-up surf, and a talking story against the famous Malibu wall, Big Ben Skinner. Skinner, former runner-up here at Malibu, so he's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the men's side, as we anticipate a start to a World Championship day today. I want to welcome all of you. I'm Kaipo Guerrero, along with Sam Bleakley, Matt Chojnacki. And when we went to break, Matt, we were talking about our #1 seeds and taking a look at our #1 seeds. On the men's side, Kaniala Stewart representing Queen's Break in Waikiki, a break that has a ton of history to it, and the pride of Waikiki here on your screen. Had 2 wins so far this season, this one in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, and you could just tell it's these absolute intricacies with his footwork, his drop knee turns, and he's blending that power, which in previous years we've seen him just really develop that all-round approach, and it's taken him to the win a couple of times now, and you just see that silky smooth approach on the right-handers. But in Huntington as well, he was going left, going right, and he's really mixing it up.
Yeah, this is some visions of his win in El Salvador, Sam. 2 wins so far this year.
Yeah, and there's a lot behind his campaign. Of course, you got Kai Salas making the surfboards, his cousin Khalees also excelling, a lot of Hawaiian families traveling with the group. And I think that team dynamic has really helped solidify and accelerate Kaniala's performances.
Yeah, and that's a great conversation as well, is because we looked at the brackets earlier today. Kaniala Stewart, the #1 seed. #2 seed is Kai Salas. So we have a potential master and apprentice push and pull for a world title this year.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And of course, Kai has come second on the WSL World Longboard Tour 3 times. You know, he's 42. He's always been a standout. He won the Mexi Log Fest this season. He won the event in Bells Beach. And he wants to get a world title as well.
Yeah. You know who else wants a world title, Matt? Khalees Kaleopa'a. The young lady from Queens has been brilliant, the goofy foot. And here we have a vision of Khalees at Huntington Beach, where she was able to take a win.
Style, flow, and grace epitomized all year for Khalees, and you just see the way that she's developed her style, blending the power, and we know she's got the grace, we know she's got the footwork, but you can just see her embracing there with Honolulu Bloomfield and really wearing Hawaii on her back at the moment. A lot of people are behind her and they want to see Khalees get that win, and she deserves it too. She's really put in a lot of work over the years to get to where she has, once again with that family support, and everybody at home will be tuning in today, hoping today's her day.
Yeah, Khalees here with her runner-up finish at El Sunzal over in El Salvador, stop #3 of the World Longboard Tour, Sam.
Yeah, and she's just 18. And what's very interesting is her good friend, Sophia Colhane, is just 17. And if Sophia wins the world title, she'll be the youngest 17-year-old, younger than Rachel Tilley and younger than Soleil Erico, who both won their world titles at a slightly older 17. So that's a real interesting opportunity for Sophia.
Yes, so many storylines to dig into. Another storyline that we're going to talk about, Soleil Erico. She's our defending women's world champ. She is the hometown favorite, a Malibu resident, as well as the Filipino, J.R. Esquivel. We're going to talk about more about those surfers when we return to the SAMBAZON Dawn Patrol. Hey, welcome back to the SAMBAZON Dawn Patrol here at the Regional Sprout Malibu Longboard Championships, presented by Tractor Beverage Company. Arrivals continue here. Former world champ Honolulu Bloomfield. We're going to see her in the mix today, along with a newcomer to this championship finals. That would be Mason Schremer. As we wait for the surf to arrive, we've got the word from Tours and Competitions that we're going to make our call 8 a.m. California time for a possible 8:30 start. So, but continuing on here with the morning show, I'm Kaipo Guerrero, Sam Bleakley, Matt Chojnacki. As we went to break, Matt, we were talking about, you know, some of the top players coming into here. And one of the top players for the women would be Soleil Erico. And let's take a look at a women's bracket and see where our defending world champ is. She's the number 2 seed. So, Soleil, just a couple heats away from another world champ, a 3rd world championship.
Yeah, I think she'll enjoy coming in number 2. Number 1, obviously the preferred seed, but to get a few reps in today at Malibu, it's small, it's a different type of Malibu to what we're usually expecting. I don't think local knowledge is going to have a huge impact today, so she'll be happy coming into that number 2 seed, and hopefully we'll be up against Khalees as we see the day.
Sam, when we talk about Soleil Erico and we talk about the conditions, we're waiting for the swell to arrive. obviously, it's not going to be, the surf's not going to be as big as last year. How will that play into our competitors' equipment choices?
Well, I think what you'll see from Soleil is she'll be riding a bigger, flatter board. Last year we saw her riding a new model. She has the Sunkist and the Velvet Hour, 2 models. It was the Velvet Hour with the wide point back that was facilitating this beautiful down carve out of the nose rides, and it was a dynamic style of involvement surfing that crowned her the world title. She surfed that board this season. She was the first and only surfer to qualify for the top 8 before the final event in El Sunzal after winning bells. So she came into El Salvador hoping to get that #1 seed, lost to Rachel Tilley in the quarterfinals, but I think she's going to be absolutely fine if the conditions are small, because she's going to adjust her equipment, get a bigger, longer board, and she's going to be able to read the wave extremely well, because she's got all of that history, that culture, that intrinsic knowledge of surfing here.
Yeah, she was really, guys, she was very dominant last year, Soleil Erico. So let's take a look at Soleil Erico and her performance here at Malibu, which earned her her 2nd world title. Local girl here, Matt, and you can tell she knows this wave.
Yeah, and it was the combination of critical nose riding combined with the rail carves and the use of the whole board. You can tell local knowledge helped. It can get a little nerve-wracking when you're on a perfect long wall like this and trying to fit the maneuvers in. Soleil just made it look like it was the canvas that just all fit together like the puzzle, and she just fit the pieces together, and that's extremely hard to do, as Sam said, using the front and the nose of the board, that involvement style where the focus is around the pocket. Critical surfing, and Soleil's technique really matched that board perfectly last year.
Yeah, brilliant surfing and a 2nd world title for Soleil Erico. Her chances this year, Sam?
Yeah, really high. And she talked about visualizing that win for 3 months prior to this moment last year. So she would be going through that big emotional roller coaster of being the local here, having all of that fan base. But of course, we saw Harrison Roach on the stage with her. There's a lot of big names who didn't get in the top 8. Kai Ellis Flint has been a huge standout in the men's. Natsumi Teoka, a huge standout in the women's. We have to remember all of those other names who nearly made it, but not quite, and we can look forward to seeing them next season.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at our men's bracket and some of the names that are begun vying for a world title. Matt, look at match #1.
Yeah, full of experience, and the rookie Regilio J.R. Escobar, that one is going to be full of fireworks. And I tell you what, all 3 surfers are very efficient when it comes to small wave surfing. Can't wait to see how that one pans out. Declan, Ben Skinner, that's a rivalry that's been brewing now for 2 years, since Manly last year, and then at Bells Beach as well, where Declan got the nod on top of Ben. And those guys, they're 2 powerhouses. They surf very similar despite about 50 pounds difference, and they both got nose rides and drop knees, so whoever's going to go into that heat has their work cut out for them as well.
Yeah, well, we can see that match #1. First Filipino to qualify for the World Championship Longboard Tour, J.R. Escobar, and the Filipino flag, Sam, is already planted on the beach. That posse is going to continue to grow throughout this morning.
Yeah, absolutely, Kaipo. That's just the beginning. There's going to be a bigger and bigger fan base. They're saying that it's going to be a larger crew than the amount that were present at Huntington, and that was pretty incredible. And that support is really going to help JR today.
Yeah, mabuhay. We're going to see JR. This is our first vision of JR. This is when we got to know the Filipino surfer at the U.S. Open Longboard Classic here in Huntington Beach, and JR was good on the lefts, good on the rights, showed that he had well command. This was a great introduction to the World Tour, Matt.
Yeah, it was, and he qualified Kuta Beach, and he really, on these big long lefts where he beat Tucker Inui, but at Huntington, he really channeled David Nueva. He'd done a lot of study, and he'd really looked at performances there in years gone past, and you could see a lot of that intricate knowledge of nose riding and history coming in through his surfing. So a well-educated surfer, cultured, with a great team behind him, and that's what this year's tour has developed. Storylines, but also teams, coaches, and people really getting behind and being fans of these surfers.
Sam, I love the story of how global surfing is, and this is an example of that, the support from the Philippines.
And it's so interesting the waves at which these surfers come from. And the region JR is from, La Union, it's got some really good right-hand point breaks. San Juan, Mona Lisa Point. Of course, there's one called Carril, which on its day is similar to Malibu. So this goofy footer is very familiar with right hand point breaks. So that's really going to be a positive for JR's world title campaign today.
I can't wait to get it going. We're going to step away. We're taking a break from the SAMBAZON Dawn Patrol, but we'll be back with more Dawn Patrol for your viewing and listening pleasure right after this.
To us who are Shumash, this land is us and we are the land. There is simply no separation. What happens to the land happens to all of us. And we are beyond grateful that WSL sincerely understands and honors this. And for this beautiful years-long collaboration we have created, thank you. As I offer my blessing, I ask all directions to receive my prayer in a good way. I ask Creative for a fantastic and safe contest. May our waters greet you just like any old friend would, for the water indeed remembers all returning members. May we all have open ears, eyes, and minds to see how we can individually make this year the best year ever.
The WSL would formally recognize that Malibu is the traditional homelands of the Barbaeño and Ventureño Band of Mission Indians, who are one of several bands of the original Chumash people of this area. Malibu is the anglicized version of the Chumash word Hu Malihu, which in Chumash language means the place where surf sounds loudly. The Chumash people have been here for over 14,000 years and are still here stewarding the land alongside surfers, environmentalists, and others who care about our shared coastline. We'd like to thank them for their ongoing presence and participation in this event, and we'd like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. As we get going here at the SAMBAZON Dawn Patrol, let's take a look at our first match this morning. First of all, let's say hi. I'm Kaipo. This is Sam Bleakley, the Waxhead, Matt Chojnacki. And Matt, I was going to talk to you about the first match this morning. That's going to be the women's match. Chloe Kalmon, Rachel Tilley, Mason Schremer, 3 surfers go into this. Only one comes out.
I tell you what, I love this matchup. You got the experience of Rachel Tilley, former world champion, up against Mason Schremer, who's coming off a fantastic result last year, and Chloe Kalmon, the lone goofy footer in this matchup. I think this is going to come right down to the wire. A lot of experience between these 3 surfers out here at the lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Chloe's been looking great all week. Rachel, of course, great experience here. Mason, Thomas Beckson rider, and she's been a phenomenal surfer this season. Incredible flow and timing.
Well, you guys, we're still on standby for the start. Remember, check in at 8 a.m. California time, worldsurfleague.com. The call, we could get going at 8:30. See you then.